What is up, guys? Tony here, Positive Tech Reviews, and this is going to be my 1 week with the Oneplus 5. It's not going to be a full review, but it's going to be my thoughts and impressions on this phone after a week. How do I feel about it? I do have some still footage that I took with this phone. I took it with me to Florida. I took two phones. One is the iPhone 7 Plus, which I'm recording this video, and my secondary phone was the Oneplus 5, which I did use while I was there. I have two SIMs and in these phones. So I took my phone to Florida, and shit, how would I start this video? It's a good phone. It does everything that I needed to do. It did. There was zero lag, as far as the software goes and as far as the performance. This thing runs awesome. But after about a week, I kind of went back to my iPhone. Alright guys, so I took two phones like I mentioned in the beginning of this video. I took the iPhone 7 Plus and I took the Oneplus 5, and I started off using the Oneplus 5 almost midway through my vacation, and I ended up going back to my iPhone using both of them, but I ended up using my iPhone more, and I'll tell you why. We ended up going to the beach down in Florida and no water resistance. I wanted to at least take the phone with me up to the shoreline and maybe take some photos, which I did some of that. But I ended up taking my iPhone and actually going into the water. So I was in the water and I wasn't scared of being slammed into the water or anything like that, because I knew that the iPhone has water resistance on it. So with this phone, what I ended up doing was I ended up taking a couple of video shots and I ended up putting it back in the bag so it wouldn't get wet. So that's kind of sucked. So I got more footage on my iPhone. That right there is something that it was unexpected. I'm gonna say that I didn't think I would actually need waterproofing, but in the end, on my little vacation, I actually did need waterproofing. So it also rained pretty strong in Florida. So coming back to that is something that is missing on the Oneplus 5. And overall, I use the phone like I normally would, but I don't know what to think about it right now. I'm only 1 week in. Talk about the specs real quick. We do have a 16 megapixel camera in the front. We have the fingerprint reader on the bottom, which is the fastest one I've ever used. And on the back, we do have a earpiece on the top. On the back, we do have two cameras. One is a 16 megapixel, the other is a 20 megapixel camera. We do have the flash. We do have some OnePlus logo, branding, a microphone right there, and then we do have another microphone on the bottom right here. Headphone jack, USB Type-C, speaker. What you're getting as far as hardware goes, it does come with a Snapdragon 835. This one does have 8 gigabytes of RAM, 128 gigs of storage. The phone is a good phone. I'm not gonna say it's not a good phone. I like all the phones that OnePlus has made. I've had a great time with every single one of them, and they've all been great, but this one here, I don't know how I feel about it yet. I think the design language is kind of bland. It's not much different from the 3T, which I did have. As far as performance goes, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Speed, with 8 gigs of RAM, you're not really gonna notice it. I'm telling you, you're not really gonna know. If you have the HTC U11 and you come to this, you're gonna be a little upset because you're not gonna notice any kind of speed differences. It's not gonna blow you away. It's very minimal. So the only standout feature that I can actually say that the Oneplus 5 has is going to be the cameras. The cameras is basically the only thing that I can say that is going to actually stand out, and the cameras, they're not the greatest. Other than that, it's got a couple of features as far as the operating system goes. It has the same typical features you would find on the OnePlus devices. It's running Oxygen OS. So Oxygen OS, you got some updates on there. I actually have the Pixel launcher. I'm using the Pixel launcher, so that tells you a lot about their launcher. I'm not really a fan of their launcher, I'll be totally honest. I kind of like the Pixel launcher. Swipe over, get to Google Now cards. I don't like what swiping over and getting all my widgets. I think I'm not a huge widget fan myself. So all that aside, their operating system is real good. I like the customization features that they have. You can actually do all kinds of things, which I'll have in my full review. But this is just going to be my 1 week with the OnePlus 5. How do I feel about it? I was super excited in the beginning and like kind of started going downhill after about a week. Now where it starts to lack is going to be in stability, since it doesn't have optical image stabilization. It has electronic image stabilization, which is a big difference because I don't know how to explain it to you guys. It's just horrible when you put it in 4K and you try to record while in motion using the 4K, or even using 1080p 60 frames per second. It's just, the stability is just horrible. So if you turn it down to 1080p 30 frames per second, that's when the electronic image stabilization seems to work its best. I did get 3 updates since I took this out of the box. So currently it's on Oxygen OS 4.5.5, which is the latest. It may have been fixed. I haven't retested it yet, but as far as my experience with it, anything above 1080p 30 frames per second video quality in motion, it's just horrible. But if you put it on a tripod, or if you're not, you're trying to be as still as possible, you're still going to get some motion in there. But I've noticed 1080p 30 frames per second has been the best setting that I would recommend when you're in motion. Like if you're vlogging and you're walking down, I think it would be the best setting as far as stability goes. But other than that, I think it should be an update, a couple updates away to get that fixed. So if you're in low light, I have some pictures which I will upload in the end of this video or in the beginning of this video, however I decide to put it in there, but it will be uploaded along with a video that I took. Cameras are good. They're not the best in my usage. If you have the HTC U11, just stick with that one. If you're buying a phone for its camera quality, just stick with the HTC U11 if you have that phone already. They're not going to be better than the iPhone. Some people say they're about close to the iPhone. They're not better than the iPhone 7 Plus. They do have the extra cameras for the zoom capabilities. You could do 2x zoom, and that works pretty good as far as macro shots and things like that. But if you zoom in all the way, the quality is not going to be the same as on the iPhone 7 Plus. When you zoom in all the way, it doesn't look as grainy. I think the quality is better on the iPhone 7 Plus. I'm just being honest. Other than that, this phone actually performed quite good. The battery life has not been the greatest in my usage. I think I've got maybe 4.5 hours of on-screen time, maybe 5 maximum, but it's been able to last all day. That's not bad battery life. That's good battery life, but it's not great battery life. So once again, HTC U11, great battery life. It does have a bigger capacity, which is 3300 milliamp battery, which does the job. It does pretty good. So overall, no complaints on it. This is not a full review by any means. I'm rocking a launcher which is called Launcher. Shout out to Samantha DeCoin, which she let me know about this launcher. It's kind of like the Google Pixel launcher, but you can actually customize this one. So you go to settings, you can change, you can even add your own icons to it. So that's the cool thing about it. So this is what I'm rocking right now. Shout out to Samantha DeCoin. I'm on Android 7.1.1, which is the latest from Android. It runs like a boss, man. As far as opening apps, everyday tasks, I haven't had any lag, any hiccups, any crashes within that 1 week period. And the phone seems to be performing very good in my usage. So, no complaints on the OnePlus 5. As far as performance is, I think it's optimized to the max as far as performance. Battery life, I wish would improve. Camera quality, as far as video stabilization, I wish that would improve. Maybe they can upgrade the EIS. It doesn't have optical image stabilization. It has electronic. Maybe that's a software, and I think they can improve that over time. When, I don't know, but it's a huge issue. You know, you want to record at least 1080p 60 frames per second, and you can, like I said, but on a tripod, if you try to hold this in your hand while you're recording, it's going to be shaky as ever. So that's one downside that I've noticed. I went, like I said, to the pool, and I went to the beach, and I really didn't get to enjoy this phone because I thought I was going to get this phone wet, and with it not having water resistance, I decided to keep this in a bag and not take it with me to the beach or to the pool, which is a downside. You don't really notice or realize how much waterproofing really is needed until you're at these locations. If you're on vacation and you're by the pool or you're by the beach, you're going to want some kind of protection. That's where IP certification comes in, and that's where the OnePlus 5 kind of lacked. So it didn't lack any kind of water resistance on this phone. So I didn't get to really enjoy this phone as much as I should have enjoyed it. I actually took my iPhone 7 Plus to those locations because I knew it had water resistance. So that's a bummer. So I really enjoy the phone. The cameras are good. They're not the greatest, like I said. Would I recommend somebody to run out and get this phone? Man, it's too soon to tell. Like I said, this is just 1 week with the OnePlus 5, but it's a good phone. Would I choose it over the S8 or the HTC U11 or the iPhone 7 Plus? It depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for cameras, then no. Something that's fast and fluid, maybe. But stay tuned for my full review of the OnePlus 5. I have more videos to come. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys on another video. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Peace.